Okay. Oh, guess it is black. It's way too bright. I don't know. Oh, they actually changed the. Oh wow, they actually finally have the Q&A thing going now. Hmm. That's it. Just those two things. Here, let me do my usual. Get blinded. Hey, yeah. You know, it's another day of existence. That's the best way I can put it. uh, yeah. I'm kidding about that. Let's work without having any. That's stupid. Yeah. Well, what do you mean? Ah, no. I can do that right now. Life's life. Nothing really new. Hey Liz and hello Kayla. Wow. Like everybody comes in all at once. Um, yeah, nothing really new or exciting has happened. It's still same old, same old. Hopefully, this incoming Monday, I'll actually have somebody be able to give me a hand getting my like my online presence and just like a I guess service website or whatever you want to call it up and running because I can finally afford it. Because yeah, that's been like the biggest hiccup. Oh yes, I'm existing. I'm still existing everyday neutral. I kind of wish I was elsewhere, but it is what it is. Okay, okay. Let me see here. Oops. So, fine, I'll take you to Rosie. Where the heck is my? Oh, there it is. That better be on the map. Ah! Give me my. Thank you. Give me my damn blue lotus. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, existing in a difficult world. Well, the thing is that sometimes the world doesn't need to be. I mean, I can understand life being difficult for a short period of time, of course. But after a while, I think it's good plenty that we've had enough of the difficultness, especially if it's unnecessary. Like, come on now. But hey, I mean, I gotta say though, I gotta say for the women in Iran, go get them, girls, off with their he who fought heads. Bonus points if you get them to. I completely forgot what I was going to say, but anyway. So between. That is not sure. Okay, so let's see here. We'll have one pull. Which will have two be pulled from Mausoleo. One representing you, one representing the person in question. That's for we'll do 3 4. Oh! Also the unit too, so let's do this there. I haven't used this deck that much, along with the Oracle de la Nude deck. That's down there. It's just I haven't felt the need to use that one yet. So the first one is going to be for Liz. We have for Liz the Mother of Dawn. Beauty, agency, and compassion. So kind of like the nurturing consistent and the longing, but also being understanding of the situation. Also very doubtful. Oh, it's the Mother of Dawn. This is from the Mausolea Oracle. Which, by the way that Lilith's depicted in this deck is I like how she's depicted. It's just the word choice used. It's just like, yep, it's a unique oracle, but I don't understand why Joan of Arc's in this deck. And then for Asher, person in question, we have the Thinker, which is knowledge, instruction, and reinventation. Talk about, we have one that's really in the supportive feminine aspect, and we have the other that's really over logical, over practical, and pretty too much in his trying to make things make sense. Overthinks. Doesn't have that much of a feeling. Doesn't have much feelings involved. All in his head. If it doesn't make sense, he's not for it. While the other way around is mainly prioritizing the feelings and trying to just keep trying to keep things open. You could say even Escher might be kind of a bit strategic in the way he puts himself out or carries himself. And then all three together as the unit. We have the Eternal Servitor, the Ancient Wanderer, hope and completeness and yearning. So on one hand, we have one that is trying to be emotionally open, understanding, and trying to just be unconditionally acceptable, and wanting to really, how do I best put this? One is really trying to give a love that's actually at the highest level, while the other one is too in his head. And then together there is hope with it, but there's a yearning for, you can kind of even say there's like a yearning for it, for between the two of you to come together. Even though one is more emotionally in line with it and accept it, the other one's still trying to logically figure it out. Okay, we're going to do two for each one. First one for Mother of Dawn, we have Hong Kong Fui, the Chariot with the Knight of Pentacles. So we have able to go slow and steady, but at the same time we go Hong Kong Fui whenever ready. So you can do pretty much regardless of how fast this goes. Either way, you're able to adapt to it. You can handle with the slowness and things nothing happening be pretty boring, but you can also handle it when it goes Hong Kong very, very fast, and when things just come together like that. So you're perfectly in a really great spot. Like, you're pretty difficult to get off kilter. Well, Asher, I want to question. We have the Moon. That's already a bit of the Moon and the Five of Pentacles. And the Thinker. Well, the first thing I think is when you have the Moon and a card that's logical, you kind of have a, I'm just so intoxicated because the Moon being the card of Pisces and the Moon being about not being able to see and understand, and then you're putting somebody who uses his head in there. It's like, how can I logically avoid the darkness? How can I logically understand it? It's just the dark. That's it. I don't see anything more of this. But there's more to this. I can't even see anything. So Asher might be completely unaware that he's leaving himself out in the cold about the situation, about the connection, and that he's not really understanding who's willing to be with him. He's too much trying to logically understand something that doesn't need to be logically understood because it's right there. Why the heck do you need a logic out? Should I go towards? Should I? Why am I trying to understand something that really is simple? But I know there has to be more than this. There's something in this connection I don't understand. It's just so. There's just something off about it. There has to be more because logically it can't be just as simple as that. Well, he most definitely loses sleep because of the connection not being cupcakey like. Like he gets restless about it. Hello, Kirsty. But I mean, mentally, he does have the nights where he's just like, "Is this really how I want to live my life? I want to at least have some, cutesy woozy romance, like childlike cutesy love, if that makes sense. He wants it because it's in his head, and he sometimes just stays up all night like, how come I'm not letting myself get this? It's like he's self-denying himself. Yes, of course you can. It's just that if you're wanting me to actually ask, well, if you're wanting me to do you have a okay. So that wasn't finished with this here. Okay. Okay, so for the two of you, Liz, as a unit, there's the page of twigs and the Eight of Wands. With this depiction of the page of wands, we have him kind of being like a prophet. The Eight of Wands actually has a structure called face plant. So as a unit, there's going to be some form of there's going to be some sort of sign that's going to be shown for both of you that is actually going to crumble and decimate where things have already been established. It's like how everything's standing right now is just going to go clean slate, and then the way that it's going to be playing out is instead, at first, it's going to be like this Eight of Swords. You see, like there's a bunch of people, and then there's a random little. Why is it a parrot? We'll go with it. And there's a parrot in there. There might be some form of misunderstanding, and there might be some kind of small little inconvenient barrier in the way, but that's not going to last long. Because then you have the Ace of Blades, which is an angelic figure pointing the sword down like, hey, open the gate. And then you have the Ace of Pentacles, like showing that after when the angel gives the word, the blessing upon the physical world. And don't mind, the lady in the back going like, what are you doing? Don't mind her. Well, looking at it, despite the little minor inconvenience, there's going to be some clarifying, or something is going to come in and cut that separation apart to the point where essentially there's the world, or like this physical manifestation of this desire of a connection, is actually going to be bestowed, and then there's going to be the Ten of Cups right there, which actually shows this Ten of Cups, instead of showing just like the cheesy two kids and the mother and father, this one actually shows a woman figure with another figure that's the same height as her, that's male, and he's kind of looking down like, yeah, I know, it was dumb. I made a mistake. I should have listened. Yeah, I know. Just don't bring it up, okay? I told you so. Hello, Angela. I haven't seen you in a while. Yes, Ten of Cups. Haven't seen you since Moses walked here. So overall, I mean, you're perfectly fine. You're in a good standing. Him, he needs to stop trying to logically understand something that's so simple. Yeah, it's a good thing you glad you caught me before it was next year. Yeah. Okay, so hopefully that'll get good, Liz. Goody McGooder. Goody goody. Okay, Chrissy. Does Chrissy have a stalker on her Instagram? Does she have one of them boys or fangirl things? If so, push off a cliff. Because that's not very nice to have, inconsiderate planets. Lilith Oracle. Let's see what we get here. We'll go away. Well, not Daisy. Who's Daisy? I'm not sure who Daisy is, but Chrissy. Either way, whether you have one or not, you have something protecting you. So if something hits the fan, you have nothing to worry about because something or someone is watching over you. But that kind of doesn't give you really much of an answer. But either way, there's no harm going to be coming to you. There could be somebody maybe watching you, and they're not really apparent about it. But they're trying really hard to be sneaky here. Give me that type's not going to speak for now. Give me the mausoleum again. Tell me about this sneaky McSneaker, if you will be so kind. The Traveler. Restlessness, independence, and appraisal. Keeper of the crossword roads. Okay. So the individual that's watching and kind of trying so hard to keep themselves veiled, they're kind of restless about it. But what's ironic is that they claim to be like they're able to handle on their own, and they think they know how to know value of something. But the problem though is that they're letting something so minuscule affect them so bad that it possesses them. So when you have somebody like this, the best way to handle them, they have to have something they must see something about you or of you that they see as high value. At least the way that I'm looking at it. Give me one more card. This person's mad because you're in a better state than them. You're in a higher position, or you have something that they don't have, and they're just so fragile about it. The way that it is looking like it is that they're trying so hard to be very sneaky. They're stalking your every move. But the way that I'm looking at it is they're not really taking any kind of action. It's just that they're really envious. They're like, how come I can't have that? I know this person, I should just be inspired by them, but I'm just so jealous. I want to. How do I put this? They're watching and keeping themselves. They're trying really too hard to make sure they don't get caught, because if they did get found out, they'd be like, "Oh crap, I've been made." If you do modeling, then give me one more. Give me one more. The keeper. Sorry, I did not mean to bump that. The keeper of whispers, the mad prophet. He's gone mad, I tell you. Curiosity, madness, and forbidden knowledge. The best way that I can put this: if you believe you're being stalked, keep aware of every small. Oh no, not the Mad Hatter. The Keeper of Whispers. This twathead. Curiosity, madness, and forbidden knowledge. The Mad Prophet. So if you believe you have a stalker or somebody doing such a thing, keep your eyes extra aware of every individual that comes around you or towards you or anywhere within your vicinity. Because whenever I've seen this Keeper of Whispers come around, the thing is that it's okay. But the best way to, if you want to really just take a shot in the air, you can be. But the thing is, envy and a longing and a desire and having it possess somebody's existence, sometimes it's pretty difficult to get rid of that. But if you're in an industry like modeling or doing anything of the sorts, it has to be kept in mind that if that's what you're doing, you have to be aware that that sometimes might happen. That you might get people that are acting a bit weird, and it is what it is. But the main thing is that ultimately always protect yourself. Make sure that you're safe from whomever and whatever, and you're always armed in today's world. But if you notice anything that's a bit freaky deaky or just like, okay, that was weird, don't take it any chances with it. I would even, okay, this might sound a little bit weird, but take it from me. If you can, I would invest in this, what's it called? It's called the Stinger Tactical Steel Whip, self-defense weapon. Literally, it is a piece of steel cable with a handle, and it's wrapped in plastic, and it has like this pointed thing at the end of it that you can break glass if needed. But carry that thing around. If some twilight tries to get a hold of you, you whip that thing out and hit them across the face. They're not going to move, because it's going to be like the most stingiest slap ever, and they're not going to get up. I can guarantee that. Yeah. And I've also mainly been on like, wait, wasn't there somebody else too? Where is it? Shopaholic, new place to live by January. New place to live by January. Okay. Give me the. Okay, now fine. We'll use that one now. Ah! Get over here. Ah! Give me that. Give me the De La Lute Oracle. Let's see what comes out of here. Rishi, well, Shopaholic have a new place to go. In January. Or by January. Well, what came out, Shopaholic, is The Little Red Riding Hood. So there might be, you might have to be extra aware of someone trying to be deceiving you. You're trying to get some kind of like a rental in your home, and you might be set on something, or you might have your eyes set on a certain type of living facility. But just be aware there might be somebody trying to pull a sneaky act on you, and that it could actually cause severe harm to you. Well, so when trying to get a new place by January, make sure you speak loud and carry a big stick, and make sure you mean business, and not let anybody think that, oh, pushover. No, because here you have a depiction of Goliath coming in with a big stick about to break stuff, and making it known not to mess with them. So put on that persona of speaking loud and carrying a big stick. That's when you'll get your lucky break, because this is the Wheel of Fate, and you have a figure trying to take this lucky coin from this figure who's not paying attention. You'll get a lucky break, which will be essentially coming out of a period of suffering, because this is where Dante and Virgil are coming out of the Inferno, about to go towards Purgatorium. You'll be able to step out of a situation where you're just like, suffering and just nonstop. You'll have that wish be granted. And thus you'll have Hong Kong Fooey, there's the victory, moving in. Like literally you have all the king's horses, all the king's men, even the guy on the crocodile in the background, and even the birdman. It'll be smooth sailing, but you just have to make it known that, hey, I want things to be serious. I don't want any funny stuff. And for the love of Lord Lanta, don't be trying to be sneaky and eat my sugar mama. Otherwise I'm going to get that, what's his name? The lumberjack with his boom boom LaRue and, kablooey. The snitch's head. If that makes sense. If that answers for you. Roly, roly, roly. Alright. Yes, Jasmine. What's coming in love for single leaf? Yep, exactly. Double jasmine. That's actually one of my favorite scents, the scent of jasmine. Love for a single Libra. Let's see here. Okay, fine. I'll use that deck. Let me get it. I'm gonna go for this. I just turned 30. Oh, I can't imagine my life after this. Give me the. There's one that I'm looking for. Okay, we're gonna go with the Universal Celtic Tarot. Okay. Of course, Shabolic. So let's see here. Let's just start with saying your current position. Current position for Double Jasmine. We have she who's not having it, Queen of Swords. But this is not your everyday Queen of Swords. This depiction, we have the Queen of Swords sitting in ice with a small harp playing music. Now you're probably thinking, oh, I'm sassy, huh? Well, not this Queen of Swords. Not this one. Well, yeah. You could say that, but this Queen of Swords, you have water and air coming together to make ice. And ice is actually devoted, committed love. You have emotions becoming devoted. It's just pretty much fixed. It's detained. So for Jasmine, your current standing is that you're in a state of understanding that you're wanting to have a committed and devoted connection, and you know how to perfectly use the element of air, which is like music, speaking, to convey your emotions. And you're able to understand how to fully commit to something. And you're at peace with yourself. Okay? And you come to the terms that, I know exactly how to devote myself and commit myself, and I know how to express myself. But if someone doesn't understand it, then that's not my problem. But this Queen of Swords is not aggressive. She's just mainly just in her own peaceful state. That makes sense. She's in like her own calm world, but she's not closed off from anybody. It's just that if nobody understands her level of devotion, she just like, meh. Fine, I'll let somebody else enjoy my fiddle me, harpy, whatever. Thingy. That's how you stand. Most likely going to encounter a Knight of Pentacles. So you may encounter somebody who you might encounter somebody who has a lot of ideas, but instead of actually being on the ground about it, they're really overly calculative. Instead of being emotional and trying to converse, they are more logical with trying to explain how to practically get things done. So there is this idea of one wanting to express emotionally and devote, while the other one is having a lot of ideas and that's trying to be brought into the physical world. But because since he's so high up, he's not really sure how he can bring that down. So it might take a little bit for this. I'm going to give you 3 potentials. Then we have another one, which is the Page of Swords. So you have another one that's a bit youthful. This one you can communicate with, but this one you might feel this one's a bit of a brat. But hey, at least he talks. And he might be a bit woozy-wooey with his words, but may not be consistent. Which for this Queen of Swords, being a devoted sense of love and emotion, you need to have consistency with this Queen of Swords. Because if it's not consistent, again, water and ice coming together, you're not going to impress her. She's still going to just keep her eyes closed and play her harp, but without even conversing. So, the third one, King of Twigs. Then we have, last but not least, he who speaks loud but with a big stick. So, let me clarify all 3 of them. Because, well, probably should go with the king with a big stick, King of Twigs, because he's fire and fire, and he's a king. The Knight of Pentacles is completely aloof and a bit dim-witted. Like, he'll be so easy to be led the wrong way by just anybody. So probably not the best. The Page of Swords choice is going to be a bit immature. And then to clarify the King of Twigs, we have the Hong Kong Phooey Chariot. So, will there be a love connection? Yes, and make sure you look for somebody who has a lot of zest and has a lot of initiative and is able to prove and be consistent. Because this King of Wands will act vibrantly and make the actions and take action. But the thing is, for you have to make sure they're consistent. When they're consistent, then you can be convinced. Do not let them or any of these choices that you go encounter misdirect you and put a blindfold over you from seeing the practical world. And always, always, always trust your intuitive voice. And also make sure you do moon cleansing every full moon. Listen to yourself and don't get blinded. But yes, go for the guy with the Hong Kong Flurry the Cherry, the one with a lot of zest. Still keep chasing after you like a fangirl, going after Justin Bieber. That's the best comparison I got. Okay, next. Where to go? Okay, I think Kareem next. Love interest this time. Get me. Okay, fine. Fine. I haven't used this deck in like 50,000 years, but let's do it. Give me the definitely not Tim Burton Tarot, please. Definitely not. Which is the Deviant Moon again. Hey, it fits, okay? Definitely not Tim Burton. I mean, take a look. I mean, look at that art style. Definitely not Tim Burton. Totally not Tim Burton. So, tell me about Karina, if you would be so kind. Let's see the current standing for Karina. We have the Page of Sticks. So we have a lot of inspired movement on the 3D. And there's a lot of... I think there's a few. Yeah. The deck, I mean, for me, the art style is like, looks like Tim Burton drew it. But for Karina, the Page of Wands is showing that there is a lot of initiative and a lot of movement on the physical. And even you might be putting yourself even more out there than you usually do. It's just be aware that you don't put yourself up way too high that somebody might... Actually, better way of putting it. Make sure that when you're putting yourself out there that you're not you're shooting way too up there that you might put yourself in a position where you might be seen as like, oh, okay. Why are you fighting for attention? That's probably the only big thing that I can view that I'm seeing. Because this Page of Wands is walking on stilts, on ice, and he looks like he's desperately looking for something. But I mean, nothing wrong with that. But you are going out there, and you're really trying to get yourself out there. And you're trying to make sure you can see every little option that you could possibly get. Do what you deem fit. Okay, so then tell me the next thing that'll be happening. Wheel of Fate. So while looking on and going around on the stilts trying to find something, looks like you get to heaven. Looks like fate is going to come in and the Wheel of Destiny is going to spin. And then tell me this time. What's going to come down? The Two of Blades is coming down. So the Two of Blades of having something blocking you or just like kind of like negating you, like a potential love interest that you had, woozy-woos for, and they turned you down. Well, that might be it hinting. That's going to go Timber, Faceplant, and then the new thing that's going to be sending is, fuck this deck. Nope. I quit. Nope. It did it again. I told you, whenever that card comes out, I do it. Nope. F this deck. Nope. I'm done. I quit. Nope. Anyway. That's an inside joke. Nope. It's the... Yep. It's okay. Well, fire energy is good. It makes you want to live out there. So now, if you have like something that was holding you back and not allowing you to go towards a potential interest, fate might actually have that wall tumble, or fate may actually open the blockage of you encountering somebody who's going to be the most devoted and the most nurturing and the most caring when it comes to romantic and love affairs approach you. One thing is you gotta just be aware that they may be a bit motherly and a bit careful, but they're going to be really considerate and really mindful. Give me 3 more to say what the best course of action should be. 1. Well, Knight of Cups. You get a cup, they have a cup, everybody gets a solo cup, but it's not red, so you get what you get. So, be really open to this individual if you have something that was blocking you off from them, or if they're brand new, or whatever thing was holding you back from allowing yourself to really put yourself out more, or just something that was blocking you. When this person comes in, since you have water and air, even though it conflicts, be really open and try to be more romantic woozy, if you know what I mean, like more expressive with the emotions, because that'll actually make this Queen of Cups more open to you. We definitely have a big possibility of having a really strong connection with this one. A really strong connection with it. It has really great potential. And this is a test. This is a test to see if you've learned the lessons from before. Or prior to this. Because you have Knight of Cups for twigs and then the Judgment card of being tested. If you pass the test, what comes afterwards? Pass the test, you have the Page of Pentacles. Essentially, you have something new that's going to be starting and growing slow but surely. It's going to be secure, and it'll be sustaining itself pretty well. And it'll stand the test of time. So most definitely have potential to be long-term if you play the cards right. Just be really expressive with the emotions. Yep, there's the Idiot. It has so much potential to the point where you both may be able to be children again, the best put it. Like you can go towards one another, like giddy children. That's the best way I can put it. But definitely, there is a huge potential to find someone. Yes, just be open to it and be really expressive when you encounter this person. Play your cards right. And then you have something that'll last probably a long time. If not, it'll turn into a nice, strong unionship. Based on what I've seen. Oh. Oh, Lord. Yes, of course, Kayla. You know, you know what one of the worst things you can tell somebody that, for some reason you try to do this magical thing called, meeting people. I think probably the last thing you want to ever say to someone is like, I'm having the feelings of, the nasty happening. Like, you don't need to be telling me that you have a horn on your nose now. You don't need to tell me that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm flattered that you're trying to insinuate something with me, but sorry. You're going to have to last more than a few seconds. Like, you're going to have to last about a few months before I'll even look at you like, okay, yeah. Sorry, you still have about, close to 7 months to even have me consider it, so whiff it. was Magnolia. Oh. That's the one. Okay, Magnolia. Jasmine. It is not jasmine. That one was a lime cake. About this one. Yep, there's jasmine. There to go. What does it involve? What is in the like? What's in the blind spot, or what is something that has been lacking? Yeah, or you're just stuck in the back of the cranium. You can't describe it. Oh god, no. I'm bring a mausoleum again. Okay then. Let's have a looky to see. Mausoleum. Of all the decks that actually involve like death and all that, like this deck, I'm pretty mad they don't have hell in this deck. Instead, let's put Joan of Arc in here instead for whatever reason. Like, okay, what a splendid choice. Joan of Bloody Arc, speak of the devil. Why is she in here? But fine, whatever. We'll go with the Joan Maid instead of, someone who's actually more fitting that's actually also like a death goddess. Hell. Planned. Totally planned. Okay, we'll go with the first one. I wonder who this is. Well, do I say more? It completely ignored the part that says the thief of life like that. Blah. Because whenever I hear that, I think, no, that's... Yeah, sometimes it just comes out just like, there's that one. And then we have this one. Oh, and we also have Morgan the Fae, who's also a really Lilithian figure. And last but not least, okay, here we go. So, where you currently stand is the Exile as the Forsaken Soldier. Strategy, failure, and trauma. You might be feeling like you have consistently tried to push harder and really overexerted yourself, and because of it not working out numerous times, or there's just so much lack of clarity that it makes you feel like you've been misunderstood, forsaken, and you're not at the level where you're wanting to be, and because of that, you're not being where you want to be, it activates something within you that might be a sensitive spot, like not meeting somebody else's expectation. Then, hence, when these two ladies come in, then Lilith, hunger, animalism, and instinct. Well, let's just remind what about lovely Lilith. Well, remember, she does what she pleases. She wants something, she gets it. You can't tell her no. You try to tell her no, she'll go, "Oh, you're so cute." Rip out your jugular and take a chomp and throw it to the side. So for Lilith, there is no such thing as failure. There is no such thing as being forsaken. There's no such thing as not meeting the expectation. Because all that she knows is like, I'm getting this. No. Hello, Clyde. I haven't seen you in a while. So most definitely, the understanding that despite, that sensitive point, failure doesn't really exist unless if you allow it to win. Because victory and failure can be achieved by the same mean. In other words, success and failure are your choice. If you succeed, then you succeed. If you fail, then you fail. The only time that either one comes about is if you say who wins. And in Lilith's case, it's like, well, I'm going to get what I want no matter what. Because I see it, it's mine, I'm getting it. If something gets in the way, better move out of the way. Because that's just her nature. You can't tell her no, because she'll just fling you out of the way for her want. And then you have the Morgan Le Fay. And then we have atonement, growth, and deceit. Now, Morgan Le Fay is a really Lilithian figure as well. Atonement, growth, and deceit. So now with this though, the atonement to oneself, it is the growth from it comes from using deception to attain that what is longed for. So for the spiritual path, after feeling like a consistent failure at it, let the qualities of love come through to become the unstoppable driving force to pursue something, and using that pursuit energy to make you realize that this, in putting it to this use, is your atonement and it's going to help you grow. But at the same time, using that growth from this atonement to then go back into what you deemed that you failed, to deceive and use deception to work around whatever gets in the way. Because, again, Lilith is also really good at bamboozling people. And just like, oh, oops. I mean, like in the beginning with Eden being created. You know what, dude? You go user guy, why don't you make yourself useful and make something beautiful? Beautiful lands, a world, just something instead of this dead place. Then I'll be your queen. As soon as he did it, that's when she went down to Earth and was like, toodaloo, dumbass. Yeah, she tricked him into doing Eden so that way she can get away from him. So using the growth that you get to outplay others, or outplay whatever gets in the way, maybe will help you the most regarding this. Ow. Ah. And also, for some reason too, here's something. Come to find out that I think it's the University of South Carolina that they now have an MA for magic and occult sciences. But the thing is, that degree is heavily involved in Islamic magic tradition. which again kind of is biased. But then again, I'm not really. It's difficult for me to approach anything of the Abrahamic like that, especially Islam, because it makes me feel like. Because I haven't spoken to the spirits in a long time. Take it from me, TikTok is a really dangerous place. Like for real, TikTok is a dangerous place. I have I have seen so many things that have almost given question from doing this to because I keeping them in check for going after somebody because of having a tapestry on the wall. And this twat head was just all like, well, yeah. I mean, the only reason why that I'm really on it is just to have some other way of like having some kind of revenue come in, which is kind of not really working out on that up right now. At least, but meh with it. But what was it? Oh, yeah, this twat head though was going after this. Not even like I think he was not even 18. I think he was, and he was just having a space set up for whichever spirit or being that he worked for. The camera, which one? But it looked like he was. It had a tapestry that had somebody in the. Yeah, and that's the thing though. Some of the things that happen on TikTok, I mean, to be completely honest, is kind of like that. Yeah, it's it's this is kind of assault. Yeah, and the thing is, literally, I don't even know that if I'm just gonna call it Hickok because it sounds better that way. I don't know if Hickok knows about this though, but if they have that happening on the platform and they do nothing about it, if it's a recurring thing that happens a lot, they can actually be held liable for that for not taking action and going against their own policy. Yeah, especially he who fond trolls like, oh, you better repent for your sins. Sins in opinion, or my absolute favorite. Exodus Exodus 22:18. Yeah, that's been thrown at me, and I've just said, I'm sorry, that doesn't apply to me. No, really. Take like Exodus 22:18 doesn't apply to me. Yes, it does. You practice witchcraft and that stuff. No, I practice in the occult. There's a difference. Witchcraft is just a part of that. I'm not a witch. I'm not a witch. Bamboozled. You're going to hell. That's funny. You're going to hell. Aren't you just punny? Yeah. And that's precisely why I wouldn't call myself a wizard because I don't know, it just doesn't fit me well. I'm just I just call myself an occultist just to keep it simple. But that's why I have a belief system that's an unorganized faith or like an unorganized belief system, meaning that I have nothing over me dictating what I do. I have to make that choice for myself. And I have the viewpoint of all faiths and all divine beings and all spirits and all beings, regardless of what the faith is. They do exist because somebody's encountered them. Even if I've never encountered them, they do exist because there's documentation. Not my place to say that they didn't experience it. But with that in mind, I will not, I do not, cannot, and will not in any way support anything that involves women being abused, weapon using a belief system as a weapon against somebody else, and just acting like a twithead for no reason. But now, when you take it for an example, like Hinduism and Hindu, and studying like stuff like the Vedas, now that I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. You could put me in any of the temples in India, even even anywhere near the what are they called? Exactly. And in oh crap, what are those? Oh, you can also put me anywhere near the Agoris. I'm gonna be just like, okay, it's gonna be like me walking to a candy store. I know you're probably thinking, Agoris. You know what they do, right? Yep. Yeah. Sometimes, sometimes that happens. An Agori is it's an individual that pushes the boundaries of like life, because what they do is they petition to have like the remains of somebody who passes away, and then they consume human flesh. They're doing it for a spiritual reason, to break that limitation. Yep. But on the more deeper level, take a look, like, look at it from this perspective. Lord Shiva would be so delighted to spend a lot of time with Agoris, because that's what whom Lord Shiva usually spend his time with, those outside of the normal society, if I'm remembering correctly. And when you have also, this is an odd way of putting it, I'm going to just put it this way. When you also have the abilities to see, like how Shukracharya sees, and if you, the Himalayan sadhus, I am not really familiar with them, so I can't really say much. But I will say though, when you have the ability to have like the vision of Shukracharya, and before you even think, but doesn't he have an eye that's blind? That's a part of it. The ability to see on the physical world, the one eye that's not blind, and also the unseen. When you're able to see from both perspectives, that beauty's in both, and that it's still something that's of the source of self. When you are able to see that, it doesn't matter what's in front of you. Even like again, the Agori, you would be like, "Oh, hi. Oh, you want to have the remains of this individual? Sure. It is what it is." Hmm? But there's a lot of dedication, strict diet, if any diet, because there are some that just rely on the sunlight. But now, if you want to talk about something interesting, if you want to know interesting, the temple. What is that temple called? It's that one temple that has this door seal. There's no key. You can only get in by saying a mantra. A certain way, precisely. No bomb can break it. Nothing can smash through it. But it is believed within is where all the treasures lie. Same with like UFO, unidentified flying objects, and all the yes. If anything, of all the things, of all the temples to exist, no screwed. Is now here is my thought though. If it's cursed, is it cursed by? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the really amazing thing, like about these sacred places and specific shrines and dedication areas. But there's one thing that did happen recently that almost made me just like completely turn red, like bad. There was a shrine dedicated to goddess Kali that was completely decimated, and some twat had put on their Exodus 20 verse 3 or something along those lines. Nonetheless, vandalized it and then wrote that biblical verse on the four walls outside. And that's the moment where I kind of wish the person that did that would be found, and I would be more than happy to personally, put him through good old shunny boot camp. Oh boy. Because unlike Abrahamic beliefs and like how they have do their temple stuff, whatever, the way that certain shrines for deity, they follow the Vastu protocol. I really want to. I really want to visit an energy, one of those temples, more than anything. But then again, if I was to visit one of those temples, I would be so timid and so afraid to make a wrong step that I would make a mistake. That's just how careful I am. And in a way, Kali is similar to hell, but Kali, well, when you understand that the first encounter with her, if you can understand that it's still Kali, regardless of what you're encountering, it's still her. Once you get past that, you have a really loving and supportive divine being there with you. Now, hell is pretty much flat, the same consistency with everybody, usually. Because wherever you're standing and however you're at currently, however you are, she'll deflect that right back to you. Yeah, but I'll actually have to go and see because my Rahu is at 0 degrees Sagittarius right at the beginning of Mula. And that is actually of that I believe that is also the nakshatra that Kali is associated with. If I remember correctly. Yep, it is Mula. It should be. Oh! Why would Lucifer not like the ocean? The ocean. Mainly because he had to battle against them a lot before the. Let me just. I'm sorry. Let me just scroll all the way back down. Yeah, because the thing is, Lu- okay. How do you know that? Leviathan class sea monsters. Does she not know that Leviathan is one of the divines associated with Lucifer? Okay, whatever you say. You hear this nonsense? This is not spirituality. It's just coming up with random stuff just to make himself get some cloudy or whatever. That's not. What? Not this bimbo one. Somebody shoot me, please. Somebody get a, um, someone get a desert eagle and take me out of my misery. I do not want to see this twat who just popped up. Ah! Okay. Look, no. This individual claims to also work with Lilith. Well, the problem is, when you cannot mix voodoo with Lilith. How can you say that? Voodoo, if you're initiated in voodoo, you stick to voodoo. Yeah. Okay, listen. All right. No. Yeah, yeah, good point. Uh-huh. You just said that you don't. You have an IQ of a dead plant. Are you sure? Because if I heard from a bird, you got into a really bad freak accident. Don't look at me. Hey, don't look at me. Yeah, but if you're going to be trying to lie about something, could you at least make it convincible? Because pretty much like you're saying is, or Hauser, or he's straight as can be, which is a complete lie. I'm not straight. I'm always going to be crooked. You're full of shit, twat. backside of the tree of life and death. Cupcake. You're stupid.
I'm gonna clip off.
The cake's a lie.
I'm gonna pearl try it.
Oh! Don't be saying fancy stuff for no reason, honey.
Which is at the very top of the tree.
Oh, look at this. Somebody thinks their hot's shit. No.
Big Christmas, right? You guys getting ready to get your stars to put the top of your tree? That's what I talk about when I say crown is Lucifer.
Tonight, wow. No. I've heard a lot of things that just are just like, what the heck are you talking about? She's gone mad, I tell you.
Star at the top of the tree. If you reach Bamael, you get crown.
It doesn't matter who you are. A male, female, top of the charts, musician, or janitor. Black or white, anyone can achieve the power, spirits, and okay.
Crown as Lucifer. So
Alright, Toodaloo Angela.
someone who's been essentially crowned as Lucifer, who has someone who's maybe Malkuth, right at the bottom of the tree, trying to do a hex on them or come against them.
Doing something for Malkuth. Cupcake. You're making it way too complicated. Way too complicated. Keep it simple. Besides, if she thinks she's not shit, well, I'll be more than happy to do my, let's just say, my kind of hacking way of, putting some kind of working on someone, and their protections completely, it bypasses it. Like, their protections, it can't even get to it. Because it doesn't go like this, it goes like this. It goes out from within instead of like going to the head, outward. I'm convinced maybe. The cake's a lie.
That person is like a mosquito trying to attack a dragon.
A mosquito attacking a dragon. So something that's real attacking something that doesn't exist. Okay.
And if you don't believe in a hierarchy, you're a fool. You have
Says the person who's gone mad.
the infernal divine, and then you have the Ars Goetia for a reason.
Are you for real? You have the infernal divine and then the Ars Goetia. They're the same bloody thing. Gimlet.
The Ars Goetia will serve the infernal divine.
No, they're the same bloody thing.
Don't take my word for it.
You have an IQ of a dead plant. Oh, not his doing. Let me see here. She is a deaf keeper and all ego. This is what it's meant to be full of. Yep. It's sushi. Okay. Wow, this is clever. I like this. Let's see if I can get this into. You have to admit, this is clever. Don't tell me otherwise. There's a Roompa. There's crystals, and there's, yeah, that's incense coming off of it. Pretty clever. That's clever. I will give credit to that one. Dark matter and dark energy are not the same. Dark matter is literally science. They're the same bloody thing. No, don't do that. Because you're taking the polarity extremes to together. Far left, far right, you bring together, explosion. Don't do it. Nope. Nope. That's another thing too. Death Witch. If you're going to be doing anything involving necromancy, you better know how to, treat the dead first before I even consider you anything like that. Nope. 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 No, thank you. But though, by speaking a certain way to get, what do you mean by recognize? Like, to get her attention? What do you mean by a certain way? Like tone or like the word choice you use or how you approach her? No. Whoa! With it. That's no. That's no. Okay, well, the tone of the voice, it really doesn't matter. But like when you're approaching her, make sure you always invite. Like you invite her and allow her to make the choice. Meaning that, like, say if you're wanting to like have her come and interact with you, and like speak it out loud in a way that allows her to make the choice. Instead of just like come into my room and then help me figure out something. Like, and also use like words, like strong words that have good imagery, like they have a good tone to them. Because her being, since she's a goddess of seduction, when you use that towards her, it'll impress her. If you've seen what I mean. The number one's always the right choice and invite.
The video is finally here. How I met my romantic god spouse
Whoever came up with this idea of God spouse, please no. God. Huh, that's funny because I have a sword like that.
Not making it back here, honey. This is
Female Titan in VR.
y aceptarías como amigo o te daría vergüenza andar conmigo por
Huh.
There you go. Always putting grabbing hands out.
Do you like weird music?
Huh. Oh.
In the 50s, Python speeded. I didn't notice the light.
When the dough finally gets super goopy, an officially mustache man scoops the dough into the mortar. Everything that you have said on gender identity, gender expression, beyond money, pronoun usage, what else? The sex usage, your until they can choose to be alone. How many would die if the If you have your sun, moon, or rising in Capricorn, Aquarius, Aries, Taurus, or Gemini, then this is what's coming for you in 2023. Capricorn, you will be traveling
The same way.
visiting your family. Which one of you motherfuckers said that? Y'all ain't right. I'm not disagreeing with the Bible. I'm saying slavery is a social ill. Just forget.
Please just die. Please. Don't write this on my mind. Whatever the negativity is, the core, the structure of this toxicity, let yourself go. Let my client free. Oh, please, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. We're so close. Please just die off. Whatever this is, just die off. Don't do that. It's growing stronger. Okay. Why is it doing that? Oh, wow. How did we even get here?
Not gonna lie, I really like the backward thing. my damn stream here. I got something that came up, so I'll see you guys later on. I'm gonna take care of this.